What is good, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. The movie I'm reviewing today was recommended by Grace On and is currently available for streaming on Hulu if you do have the Showtime add-on. And I would even probably recommend, just if you don't want to do the Hulu thing, dropping a few bucks on the rental on Amazon if you like what I'm going to describe. Mid-90s is written and directed by Jonah Hill and stars Suljic and Na-Kel Smith. It's a movie about moving up that social ladder and that time of your life where your friends are everything to you. So Stevie is the main character. He's 13 years old. He has a brother who beats up on him, has a single mom, but he befriends this group of skateboard kids who he's enamored with. He just falls in love with that skateboard culture, and he gets in with these group of skater kids in Los Angeles. Obviously, this is in the mid-90s, and he just knows how to move within the social structure. So this is a great movie to watch before you go into high school, because it kind of teaches you how to move and where you want to be in the social ladder of high school. So what he does, you got this group of kids. There are 3 seniors in high school. At least they appear to be all 17 years old. And then you have one younger kid. He's kind of the low guy on the totem pole. The guy that gets called last to the party, that's the one you befriend. So Stevie befriends him, and then he picks his spots and just moves within the group, says the right thing, does the right thing. And a big part of this character is he's someone who takes hits, he takes beatings. And the movie sets that vibe up right from the beginning. Jonah Hill does a great job in letting you know the type of character and the type of story this is going to be. He kind of gets beat up on by his brother, who has an inferiority complex. So he's willing to take a beating and take some licks to move it up in this group. So he just falls in love with the skateboard culture, loves it, and is just moving within that group of friends, going to parties, hanging out. They have great conversations together. This movie, it's shot absolutely beautifully. I remember I reviewed Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark last month, and I said that was a good movie, but it looked like a modern movie. This movie looks like it took place, was filmed in the 90s. It has a little bit of that grainy, almost VHS style look. It looks like a movie that you would rent from Blockbuster, which gets mentioned in the movie. One of my favorite parts, his mom says, hey, Blockbuster night, what do you want to get? And he just wants a skateboard. He just falls in love with that world. And after he gets done skateboarding, he comes in the house, his mom's watching Goodfellas. A great little scene. This movie has great music in it throughout, front to back. The score is great. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross do the score, so it's this nice light score. But the star, a big star in the movie, I should say, is the music. It blends 90s hip hop and alternative music. So you got, I'm just trying to remember all the bands. You got Wu-Tang, Pharcyde, Tribe Called Quest, Jeru the Damager, Wu-Tang, GZA, and then on the alternative side, you got Pixies, Misfits, Nirvana, Morrissey, and in the party scene, you got Herbie Hancock coming in with a great jazz sequence. It's shot absolutely beautifully. For Jonah Hill's debut behind the camera, he did an absolutely great job. While 13, the last movie I reviewed, it shows a lot of, it kind of takes place in that same world where a kid is getting involved in a world that is, it's a scary world to be in. Now, it doesn't go as far as 13, but what this movie does well is it has God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, coming in and saying, hey, slow down, slow down. Like, you know, the universe is coming in and say, hey, take it easy. When you're going a little bit too far with the party, he's having a good time. And yeah, it's absolutely beautifully shot. It shows Los Angeles very well. One thing the movie does really well, it's a skateboard movie, obviously, but in any sports type of movie or where there's an athletics involved, you have the choice of either getting actors to play athletes, or you can get the athletes and hope they can act. Now, they did a good job with choosing skateboarders who had good enough acting skills, and they actually do a very good job, rather than do it the other way, because you'd have to edit around their lack of ability to skateboard. So these kids skateboard, that's what they do. So the acting part was just a little side part. So if you guys don't know, the movie Major League, where Wesley Snipes is in it, he plays like the really fast character. If you look it up, if you watch that movie, all the scenes where he's running are slowed down because Wesley Snipes is actually really slow. It also happens in Bull Durham with Tim Robbins, who can't pitch, but he plays a pitcher. So they do a really good job in casting these skateboard kids, and they just feel like friends. It feels like that vibe. It's very nostalgic for me. The character of the main character, Stevie, is about 3 years older than I would have been about the movie takes place, about 2 or 3 years older. But I remember all the things. It has all the 90s nostalgia in there. The bartering system where you would trade video games for like a skateboard or like a scooter or a baseball card. You would use your stuff that you have, 20 bucks, you get a CD, stuff like that. You use that bartering system that you would have. Great conversations these characters have amongst each other. Oh, I should, all the 90s nostalgia, I should point out all my favorite stuff. And it's all very organic. None of it feels forced. Right away, I saw the Ninja Turtles comforter and bed sheets. I love that. Stevie's brother he's very immersed in the hip hop culture. He has It Ain't Hard to Tell Nas sweatshirt. Oh, that's like my favorite part of that. That's my favorite hip hop song. But yeah, it feels so good. And then watching it as an adult, it hit me emotionally in a couple spots. There's a couple scenes. So in one part, Stevie's mom embarrasses him because Stevie darn near kills himself, you know, trying to impress his friends. And his mom comes in, just calling him out. You know, he's out there partying, doing all this stuff. His brother snitches on him. His mom comes in, embarrasses him. It's like the worst day of his life. Because at that time, your friends are everything to you. So he feels like all this work I did to move up the social ladder was for nothing. And his mom comes in to embarrass him, and he's moping and this. And then Ray, who is my favorite character in the movie, he's the most mature, he's level-headed. We'll get into the characters and more in just a second. But he kind of gives them some perspective about all the friends, and like one kid's poor, one kid's just kind of floating through life. One kid gets beat on by his mom. You know, he tells his story of a story that happened to him to kind of put things in perspective. Say, hey, listen, it just sucks, but it's not that bad. Life gets better. I like that scene. Another emotional scene for me was, and it probably wasn't meant to be this way, but it just kind of hit me because it's very relatable. They're all sitting around, they're talking about, you know, what are you gonna do when you get out of school? Because like the three of them are seniors. So you have Ray, he wants to be a skateboarder. That's what he wants to do. And he loves it, he's great at it, and that's what he wants to do for a living. There's another cat, I can't even say his name. FS is his name in the movie. I'm saying that's literally his name. I don't think we ever get to know his real name. He just is kind of like, I just want to party and have fun. And Ray's just like, yeah, tell me how that goes for you. He kind of can see that that's going nowhere. And the other kid, the one that really hit me, he's called fourth grade. Not the brightest bulb in the bunch, but he films everything. He documents all of the skateboarding and their interactions, which would be, in hindsight, is a great idea to have now with YouTube and everything. But they ask him, and he's like, I want to make a movie. And they all kind of laugh at him. And they're like, oh, you want to be Spielberg? You know, kind of laugh at him and clown him. And he's like, nah, well, I guess I'll just work at the DMV with my dad. And that just hit me, because I was like, I remember people trying to tell you when you're that age that your dreams are crazy, but they're not. They're not crazy. There's another good scene where they're connecting and talking to this homeless man with the park they skate at. And it's just nice little cohesive moments amongst characters. And it's all very organic. Again, beautifully shot. The characters are very good. And again, if you're going into high school, this is a great 101 to learn how to move up that social ladder. And the end is just kind of listen, man, take it easy. Take it easy in life. This is one I absolutely recommend. I don't really have anything negative about it. The only thing negative people ever said about it was kind of the language and the way the characters talk. And there's a scene with Stevie and an older girl. She's like 17 or something. And he has his first sexual experience. Like, how can you not? Do you want the movie to be realistic? Like where did you people grow up where these parties don't happen, these interactions don't happen, little kids don't get, girls and guys don't, you know, and the language they use is heavy. So if you don't like heavy language, you're probably not gonna like it. But it's just how we talked in the 90s. There's a word that's used commonly throughout the movie that you could never use today at a party. You would be whoa, 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 whoa. And it was just a word that we used to call things corny or lame. It was not meant to degrade or be mean to anybody. It was just how we talked. So it's very realistic as far as the vibe and the interactions, the conversations, the way they make fun of each other, the parties. The single mom thing, I can relate to that as well. So a lot of relatable stuff for me, very familiar stuff for me, you know. you know, putting magazine pictures up on your wall in your room, posters, all that stuff. Tons of good 90s stuff, Super Nintendo, you know, everything. If you can't tell, I love the movie. It was my favorite movie of 2018. I'm so glad that Grace recommended it, so thank you, Grace. This is a great call out of you. But guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know your thoughts if you've seen this movie, if you haven't, if this is something you would watch. But guys, thank you so much again for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Take care and be well.